Good morning. Let me just invite some people and talk to you a little bit about third eye stuff, which I don't know very much about, but I'm learning all the time. I mean, I know in theory, but I don't really know in practice. So I'm going to start out with a little story about the very beginning of my spiritual journey once I left the confines of Christianity. So, in the very early days of me moving away from Christianity and moving into a different sort of religious practice, which was paganism for me, I learned, because usually if you go into a, good morning, if you go into a coven situation like I did, and that was the very first situation I had with paganism, was I joined a coven immediately, and I studied for a year and a day. And any good coven that has somebody that's going to right on, right? Any good coven is going to take their brand new initiates in and do a basic 101 witchcraft class or Wicca class or whatever, however that particular flavor of coven practices. So my high priestess gave us little basics on everything, and we learned about chakras and moving energy. And we learned how to use pendulums to see what blockages we had. And the places that I was the most open was my throat chakra, imagine that, and my solar plexus chakra, which I don't think I pay enough attention to. But my third eye was closed up. The pendulum did not move there at all. I don't remember much else about the other ones, but those were the three that stuck out to me. And then a little bit later, my friend Karen and I did it again, and it was still pretty much closed up. And I don't know what the deal was there. I don't know why that is. I know the gut thing, I feel it pretty strongly, but I think that with my solar plexus chakra, I protect that a lot because I don't want to hurt, and that's where all of my anxiety and panic seems to be located, is right there in my stomach. So I feel a lot of pain and when I'm anxious or depressed. But anyway, I digress. So the Kundalini, started doing the Kundalini, and in the breathing techniques and in the meditations that you're doing, when you close your eyes, you're supposed to push your eyes up to that third eye point with your eyes closed. And I'm not sure if I agree with the closed eye thing, because if you look at pictures of people, yogis, gurus, whoever, that are doing meditation practices, their eyes are never all the way closed. And I think that it's sort of, you're supposed to be, and they're looking down too, if you look in those pictures, but their eyes are sort of half open. Not all the way closed. But anyway, morning Satnam, Karen. When they teach you these techniques, they teach you to close your eyes and focus your intention at your third eye. And in the first few days of that, I had some interesting reactions to that. So yesterday, that prompted me to go out and take a look at what are the signs that your third eye is opening. And it was the very first thing that I saw, and me and Karen were talking about this the other day, was pressure at this point right here. And when it was happening to me, I described it sort of like someone had taken their finger or their thumb and pushed it there. But that's really not quite what it is, because when I put my finger there, that's not how it feels to me. But it was definitely something. I was dizzy. The dizziness has since passed, but I do still tend to get that little feeling right there at my eye. But yesterday, when I was actually doing my meditations and my breath of fire practice, something new happened. And I did start seeing the flash of lights, Karen, but what the thing that I did see was that third eye opened. Literally saw the eye open. I don't even know how to explain it to you. And it began to look around. It looked up, it looked down, it looked all over the place. And I knew that it was searching for some sort of a message, or maybe just becoming aware. So that was an interesting moment for me, and it almost took me out of my meditation at that moment in time. I got to see the Phoenix again, Karen. The Phoenix showed up in the picture in my mind's eye as I was meditating. So I don't know if that's just because we were talking about it, but that happened. Carol says some Kiras that I've done are third eye gaze. Some are down tip of the nose gaze. Oh, okay, that's interesting because I haven't run across that yet. The other thing that, let's see, so you start to get little glimpses, and here's why it's really important to have your third eye open. And you might think this is a lot of friggin' hogwash or whatever because your spiritual practice maybe prohibits that kind of thinking, but I would say to you, and it's probably, listen, it's not going to be some abstract practice that's going to prohibit you from doing this. This is definitely going to be, if you're a Christian and you're watching this right now, if you were to tell your pastor, or if you were to go to your priest and say that you wanted to do this kind of a practice, I don't know what kind of a reception you would be met with that, because in my experience, most of those people don't want you to do those things. They want you to stay with their little book tradition, and sometimes they don't even have answers for why you have questions to why things seemed a little contrary to what they are telling you to do. But I'm going to tell you, as a Christian, you should try this and not be afraid of what it's going to open your mind up to. When I was really young, my parents used to tell me that I couldn't go to any other church because I was Orthodox, or like hell would happen, or fire, flamey shit would happen. Don't take communion in the Catholic Church. Listen, you can do whatever resonates within your soul. And if you think some of this stuff's going to help you, I say you should do that. And that should be, today, that's your challenge. It's Sunday. It's a day that most people find as a sacred day. I think you should sit down and consider 3 minutes of practice of just focusing on your breath and looking at your third eye point. And I've only been doing this for maybe 2 weeks now, and I have seen so many different openings and just peace that I haven't had before. Yeah, I still am having panic attacks and anxiety and whatnot, but it's not like it was before. And I have tools now that at my disposal to work through some of that stuff. So it's much more helpful than it was to just flounder in it. I think that when you open your third eye, it makes you really start to look at things and everyone around you as a part of who you are, a part of you. That the cat, Bob outside, the neighbor walking his dog right now, all of us are connected in such a way. And it doesn't mean that you're going to instantly love people that are unlovable to you. It just means you understand that those people are the same as you. And if not for your awareness and your openness to how things are around you, and acceptance of other people and things that aren't like you, you could be just like them. If you stayed closed off and not, I mean, you don't have to. I think the only thing that the third eye really will help you do in the very beginning is maybe make you realize that it's none of your business what anybody else is doing. And that's a really good starting point to be at. That you, okay, I'm not gay. Okay, I'm not black. Okay, I'm not trans. Okay, I don't agree with Wicca, but it really has nothing to do with me, and that's their journey, and I can allow them that practice. I think that's what the beginnings of opening up your third eye will do for you, is to help you find more acceptance to things that are not traditionally things that you would normally do yourself. And that let me just tell you how that takes so much stress out of your life, to know that you don't, okay, I don't agree with that. I don't have to react to it. I don't have to defend my position. I don't have to try to change the way those people think or what they're trying to do in their life. I just need to keep moving forward in what I'm trying to do. And I think that that's what opening your third eye, at least this beginning stage for me, is doing, is making me see that, you know, I just saw some ridiculous stuff in our Tampa Bay Times news. I don't even want to talk about what it was. and I started to write out a response. And this has happened more than once now with me, with people in situations with our political climate the way that it is, and people being ridiculous about gays and transgenders and the shit with the fucking border and all of it. I just don't want to send out a response to that stuff. I just don't want to. You do you, boo, over there and beg for a wall and do what you want to do. I'm going to sit over here and try to send out different vibrational patterns on that web. And I think if you open up that third eye, those things will help you. Karen says restarting her Kundalini this morning. It's very important. I think part of with my back injury has really allowed me to just really focus on that, because I couldn't get up and do other exercises. So I've had to really sit and be quiet and just do the breath of fire and do some reading and stuff. It's a much more rewarding practice. And don't miss out on that. Don't just poo-poo things that you don't think are real. I mean, I don't think people believed in germs and viruses and things, 100 or 300 years ago, 400 years ago. There's more to the universe than what you see. Good morning, Edna. There's more to life than what you do. And when you open yourself up to the idea that we're all connected and that it's okay for people to do themselves and for you to do you, I think it will make for your life to be much more enriching and much more happy than what it is, instead of always trying to be fighting with people and changing their positions. The third eye practice is really important. Your chakras being aligned is really important, and that goes along with it. Even I think that when you look at old paintings of Christian saints and stuff, you see them with the halos around them. That's their auras, guys. That's not some mystical thing that only was reserved for them, those saints. And I think those are things that we lost in Western philosophy, the Piscean age of Christ. We lost what that means to have that Christ consciousness. And when people started to move towards this this place of the Aquarian age, we started to get a little terrified of it, and that's what it is, right? Every time there's something new that you don't understand, you right away are resistant to it, because even if it's a bad thing that you're mired in, that's the stuff you know. Just approach stuff with, let me see what this is about and see if it does something for me. And if it doesn't do anything for you, then you can move on. And if you don't want to do it because you think your religion precludes you from doing it, then you don't have to listen to this video or what I say and try it. I'm just saying that this Kundalini practice, my third eye opening, has sort of released me from a cage of despair. And if you don't want to live in that cage of despair, if you really want to realize how connected you are to other people, spend some time in quiet meditation, focusing on your third eye and waiting for the answers to come, because they will. And know that they're going to come. And know that they're not going to come on your time either. So just understand that you can't just start the practice and then go, well, I did it for 3 days and now nothing's happening. It's going to take a minute. And in the beginning, it's going to be frustrating, because you're going to be dizzy and you're going to think, I can't do this breathing and all of those things, but you can. And they will help you exponentially. And I just think that, I don't know, probably for my summer solstice thing, I'm going to make everybody sit in that circle that wants to do anything for solstice. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some fire breath, or breath of fire. And we're going to meditate at our third eye for 3 minutes on opening ourselves up to the possibilities and to the, just think about it like this. How about you take all the religious practice out of it completely, and you look at meditating on your third eye as going to a place you've never been before. You are buying a ticket that is, or someone is giving you a ticket, because you don't even have to buy a ticket. It is a free trip to a place you've never seen before, to open up your mind and show you things you've never seen before. How about if you look at that today? That's your challenge for today, is to know that you get to do this. You get 3 minutes to go on this little journey today. And it's the beginning. You just check into the hotel today. So check into the hotel of your third eye today and learn the practice. Sometimes when you first get to a place after you've taken a long trip, you've been on the airplane for a minute and you get into a different time zone, you get into the hotel lobby, they take your stuff and give you your key and you go to your room and all you want to do is take a shower and go to sleep. If that's what happens, so be it. Get up tomorrow and walk around a little more in your third eye and see what it shows you. Get to be looking at all differences, people, things, all of these things with your third eye, with other people. Look at all of those things as free travel to experience different cultures and different people. And how exciting would that be, instead of being afraid of all of it all the time? Don't be afraid of it. What's going to happen? You know what happened when I took communion in the Catholic Church? Absolutely nothing. So you can look up at your third eye. Jesus is not going to condemn you to hell for doing it, because I bet you he was doing it too. There's proof that he studied in other cultures. What do you think he did from 12 to 33? Like, there's no accounting for what he did. I think he went around and did what he had to do, and he sat with other people and other cultures and took on those practices. And when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, I'm sure he was sitting cross-legged. In fact, it said in the Bible, it says he drew a circle and sat in the circle and prayed. So I'm sure he was looking up at his third eye and practicing some sort of meditation before he went in there. I mean, it would take a lot, right, in your meat suit not to go, let me just run away from this. I'm not going to get up on this cross today. You know what I mean? Carol says it tunes your awareness to connect with the divine energy, whatever that divine is for you. And I think that's true. And I think that if you have experienced lots of flavors of divine energy, I think you probably see a little bit of all of it. That's what I think. I don't discount Christianity at all as a legitimate practice of religion. I kind of get irritated when I hear other pagans say that, and I don't understand why that. Well, yes, I do. I understand why that mythology bothers some people, because it really did oppress a lot of people. But that's not who Jesus was. And that's part of the issue is hey Heather, if you get up and you read your Bible like you're supposed to every single day, if you're a practicing Christian, you start to see where the stuff that you're being told from the pulpit might not necessarily be true. Listen, I've listened to pastors who've used words in the wrong context, used the wrong word for something. You're supposed to know so that you can't be, that's even in the Bible. As a Christian, you're supposed to know when someone is bastardizing the word that is written. So I think that it's important for you to know your stuff and then know that you can do other things. Don't be afraid of opening your mind, because the fear is what gets us in trouble. And that's what, when you open that third eye, it will help you see the connection you have with other people and other things. So it'll take some of that fear away, and then you can realize what's important for you to worry about and what's not important for you to worry about, so that you can become the best person that you are going to be in this particular plane. So that's your challenge for today. Sit down for 3 minutes, do your third eye meditation, and get back to me and let me know how it works for you guys. Peace.
Peace.